In our last video, we exposed the dealer markup conspiracy on Harley insurance. We showed how riders are paying double what they should because of hidden classification systems baked into every policy. We told you to start asking questions your agent does not want to hear. And right on cue, the real-world proof flooded the comments. Viewer Mike Stanton wrote that he called his insurance company after watching, asked one specific question, and watched his premium drop $47 a month on the spot. Viewer Randy Kowalski said his agent actually hung up on him when he pressed for the lower rate tier. The insurance cartel is real, and it is actively bleeding Harley owners dry every single month. But then the old-timers in the comments spoke up, and they revealed the classified rate loophole that insurers have buried for decades. When your agent refuses to tell you the truth about mileage classifications, here's how you force their hand and cut your premium in half. Viewer Gary Dennison dropped a comment that stopped me cold. He wrote that he has been paying $1,847 a year to insure his 2018 Road King, and after one 15-minute phone call using the reclassification method from an old rider forum, that number dropped to $923. Same bike, same coverage limits, same deductible. The only thing that changed was a single code in their computer system. Gary is not some insurance industry insider. He is a 58-year-old machinist from Ohio who got tired of being treated like a mark, and his experience matches what dozens of you reported in the comments. Viewer Steve Decker wrote that his State Farm agent admitted cheaper tiers existed, but said he never would have offered them unless Steve asked directly. That is the game. They build the system with hidden discounts, train agents to avoid mentioning them, and count on you to pay the inflated rate without question. The classified rate is real, the paperwork exists, and the only thing standing between you and a 40 to 50% premium reduction is knowing the exact terminology that forces disclosure. Here's how the insurance classification scam works on a technical level. When you buy a policy for your Harley, the underwriter assigns your bike to one of several use categories. The three main classifications are commuter, recreational, and pleasure or limited use. The category you land in determines your base rate before any other factors like age, location, or driving record even come into play. And here's where the theft happens. Dealership F&I managers and insurance agents automatically slot Harley owners into the recreational category because it carries the highest premium and generates the largest commission. They do this regardless of how you actually ride. Recreational classification assumes you're putting serious miles on the bike, riding in varying conditions, and using it as a primary vehicle for leisure travel. The actuarial tables for that category price in maximum risk exposure. But if you ride your Harley fewer than 5,000 miles a year, keep it garaged, and use it primarily for weekend cruises and the occasional rally, you qualify for pleasure or limited use classification. That category carries dramatically lower premiums because the statistical risk profile is completely different. The paperwork trick is buried in your policy declarations page. Look for the usage code, usually a 2 or 3 letter designation next to your coverage type. If you see codes like REC, RCR, or any variation indicating recreational use, and your actual riding pattern is weekend only or seasonal, you are being overcharged. The reclassification requires a usage affidavit, which is a one-page form where you declare your estimated annual mileage and primary use pattern. Viewer Carl Jennings reported that filing this single form dropped his premium from $2,100 to $1,150 annually on his 2016 Ultra Limited. The form existed the entire time. His agent never mentioned it once in 7 years. Your insurance agent earns a commission on every policy sold, and that commission is calculated as a percentage of your premium. Higher premium equals higher commission. This is the fundamental conflict of interest baked into the entire system. When your agent keeps you in a recreational classification, paying $1,800 a year instead of moving you to pleasure use at $950, that agent pockets roughly $85 more annually on your policy alone. Multiply that across hundreds of motorcycle policies, and you understand why agents are trained to never volunteer information about cheaper rate tiers. Viewer Dennis Marlowe reported that when he asked about switching classifications, his agent claimed it would void his coverage in the event of a claim. That was a calculated lie designed to protect commission revenue. Usage classification does not void coverage. It adjusts premium based on declared riding patterns. If you file a claim and your actual use matches your declared classification, you are covered. Period. The agent was betting Dennis would not verify that statement, and he almost won that bet. Here are the 3 questions that force disclosure. First, ask your agent to provide a written breakdown of all available use classifications for your specific motorcycle category. Second, ask what the premium difference would be if your bike was classified as pleasure or limited use with an annual mileage cap of 3,000 to 5,000 miles. Third, Ask for the usage affidavit form required to change your classification. These questions bypass the standard deflection scripts because they demonstrate you already know the system exists. Viewer Tom Harrigan used this exact sequence and watched his agent's tone change immediately. The cheaper rate appeared within 48 hours of his request. After learning about classification manipulation, many riders decide to switch carriers entirely. The logic is sound. If your current insurer has been overcharging you for years, why reward their deception with continued business? Find a new carrier, get the correct classification from day one, and start fresh. But here is the technical trap that can void your coverage mid-ride if you execute the switch incorrectly. Insurance policies have effective dates and cancellation dates that must align precisely. If you cancel your existing policy before your new policy becomes active, you create a coverage gap. That gap can be as short as a few hours, but if you are involved in an accident during that window, you have zero coverage and full personal liability. Worse, many states report coverage gaps to the DMV, which can trigger license suspension and registration holds on your motorcycle. The insurance industry knows riders make this mistake constantly, and some carriers deliberately process cancellations faster than activations to create these gaps. The documentation sequence that defeats this trap requires 3 specific steps. First, obtain written confirmation of your new policy effective date and time. Not just the date, but the exact hour coverage begins. Second, do not cancel your existing policy until you have that new policy confirmation document in your hand. Third, set your existing policy cancellation date and time to match exactly with your new policy activation, or overlap by 24 hours if your current carrier allows prorated refunds. Viewer Frank DiMaggio learned this the hard way when Progressive activated his new policy at 12:01 a.m., but Allstate processed his cancellation at 11:59 p.m. the previous day. That 2-minute gap showed on his record for 3 years and affected his rates across multiple carriers. The aftermarket insurance brokers, the independent agents who do not work for a single carrier, understand this game and can coordinate the timing for you. The tools and the knowledge exist to cut your Harley insurance in half legally and permanently, as long as you have the patience to document every step and refuse to trust agents who profit from your ignorance. What is the biggest insurance scam you have uncovered on your motorcycle policy? Did you find hidden classifications or catch an agent lying about coverage? Sound off in the comments below because your experience is writing the playbook for riders who refuse to be treated like marks. If you are done subsidizing the insurance cartel's profits, hit the subscribe button to join the resistance. Keep asking the questions they hope you never learn, and we will see you in the next one.